Every year across the globe, a staggering number of individuals, more than 600,000, are reported missing. For many, their stories find resolution. They are found, safe or otherwise, their absence explained. Some, driven by motives we may never fully understand, choose to run away, seeking a different life. Others are tragically lost to nature or fall victim to crime. These are narratives of sorrow, but narratives with an ending. But then, there are the others. A select, chilling few whose departures defy all explanation. They do not simply go missing, they vanish. It is as if the very fabric of reality has thinned, allowing them to slip through, leaving behind not a whisper of their passing. There are no clues to follow, no breadcrumbs leading to an answer, no witnesses step forward with a crucial piece of information. There is, quite simply, nothing. An absolute void where a life once existed, a silence that screams louder than any cry for help. These are not tales spun from folklore, not ghost stories whispered around a campfire. These are stark realities, documented disappearances that remain cold, stubbornly unsolved, and profoundly unsettling. They challenge our understanding of the world, forcing us to confront the uncomfortable possibility that there are forces, or perhaps thresholds, beyond our current comprehension. Welcome to a place where such mysteries converge. Welcome to the vanishing point. The year is 1978. We find ourselves in Australia, a land of vast horizons and untamed wilderness. Here, a young pilot, Frederick Valentich, only 20 years of age, prepares for a flight. He is brimming with the confidence of youth. A qualified pilot with over 150 hours of flying time, embarking on what should have been a routine training exercise. His aircraft, a single-engine Cessna 182L, is fueled and ready, destined for King Island, a journey that would take him over the often turbulent waters of the Bass Strait. As dusk begins to settle, Valentich takes off from Moorabbin Airport, near Melbourne. The air is calm, visibility good. He climbs steadily, the familiar hum of the engine a reassuring presence. Below him the coastline recedes and the dark expanse of the Bass Strait stretches out. He is alone in the cockpit, navigating by the stars and the instruments before him. But then, something changes. Valentich radios Melbourne flight service, his voice tinged with confusion, perhaps even apprehension. He reports an unidentified aircraft, something large, moving at high speed, seemingly shadowing him. He describes it as having 4 bright lights appearing to be landing lights. Ground control has no record of any other aircraft in his vicinity. Valentich describes the object as elongated, metallic, and shiny on its surface, with a green light. It is, he states, all shiny on the outside. He reports it orbiting above him, playing a kind of aerial game. His attempts to identify it prove futile. It is unlike any conventional aircraft he has ever encountered. The air traffic controller, equally perplexed, can only offer the information that there is no known traffic near his position. Valentich's voice becomes more palpable. He speaks of the object approaching him from the east, then hovering directly above his Cessna. He states, "It seems to me that he's playing some sort of game. He's flying over me 2-3 times at speeds I could not identify." Valentich's final words are chilling. It is hovering, and it's not an aircraft. Following this, there is a sound, a 17-second burst of metallic scraping noises, and then abruptly, silence. Frederick Valentich and his Cessna 182L were never seen again. We now journey to the northeastern United States, to the rugged, densely forested landscape of Vermont, specifically to the area surrounding Glastonbury Mountain. Between the years 1945 and 1950, this seemingly tranquil corner of the Green Mountains became the epicenter of a series of baffling disappearances, earning it the ominous moniker the Bennington Triangle. 5 individuals, diverse in age and background, walked into this wilderness, and quite simply, never walked out. Their stories are separate, yet eerily connected by location and the utter absence of explanation. The first to vanish was Mitty Rivers, an experienced woodsman, 74 years of age. On November 12, 1945, Rivers was guiding a group of 4 hunters up the mountain. As they made their way along a familiar trail, Rivers moved slightly ahead of the group. When they reached a fork, he was gone. An extensive search was mounted, but not a single trace of Mitty Rivers was ever found. Just over a year later, on December 1, 1946, the mystery deepened. Paula Jean Welden, an 18-year-old sophomore at Bennington College, decided to go for a hike on the long trail. She was seen by several witnesses starting her walk. She was dressed in a distinctive red parka, but Paula never returned. The subsequent search was one of the largest in Vermont's history, yet it yielded nothing. The pattern of inexplicable disappearances continued. 3 years to the day after Paula Welden vanished on December 1, 1949, a veteran named James E. Tedford disappeared. Tedford, 68 years old, was a resident of the Bennington Soldiers' Home. He had been visiting relatives in St. Albans, Vermont, and was returning by bus. According to fellow passengers, Tedford was seen asleep in his seat as the bus made its second-to-last stop before Bennington. But when the bus arrived at its final destination, James Tedford was gone. His luggage was still on the rack, a bus timetable open on his vacant seat. He had vanished from a moving bus with 14 other passengers apparently oblivious. The fourth case is perhaps the most heart-wrenching. On October 12, 1950, 8-year-old Paul Jepson disappeared from a farm near Glastonbury Mountain. His mother, who was tending to pigs, left young Paul playing contentedly near the sty. She was gone for no more than an hour. When she returned, Paul was missing. He was wearing a bright red jacket, making him easily visible. Bloodhounds were brought in, and they tracked the boy's scent along a local road, then up into the mountains to the very spot where Paula Welden was last seen 4 years earlier. And there, the trail went cold. The final disappearance occurred just 16 days after young Paul Jepson vanished. On October 28, 1950, Frida Langer, 53 years old, and her cousin embarked on a hike near the Somerset Reservoir, also within the Bennington Triangle area. We now shift our focus to a more recent and equally perplexing case, that of Lars Mittank, a young German man whose holiday in Bulgaria took a terrifying and inexplicable turn in the summer of 2014. Lars, 28 years old, was vacationing with friends in Golden Sands, a popular Black Sea resort. What began as a typical summer getaway would devolve into a nightmare of paranoia, culminating in a bizarre and desperate flight into the unknown. The initial part of the trip seemed unremarkable. Lars and his friends enjoyed the sun, the sea, and the nightlife. However, an altercation occurred following a football match. Lars, a supporter of the Werder Bremen football club, got into a scuffle with fans of another team. During this fight, he sustained an injury to his ear, a ruptured eardrum. This seemingly minor injury would become a pivotal point in the unfolding drama, preventing him from flying home with his friends as scheduled due to concerns about pressure changes during the flight. His friends departed, leaving Lars behind to seek medical attention and recover sufficiently to travel. He checked into a relatively inexpensive hotel, the Hotel Color, in Varna, a city near the resort. It was during this period of solitude that his behavior reportedly began to change. He started to exhibit signs of increasing paranoia and fear. He made a series of distressed calls to his mother back in Germany, his voice filled with anxiety. In these calls, Lars spoke of feeling unsafe, of being watched and followed by unknown individuals. He claimed that the men involved in the earlier fight were now pursuing him, possibly seeking retribution. He told his mother that they were trying to rob or even kill him. He mentioned that he had hidden in his hotel room, barricading the door, and that he didn't trust the local authorities or even the medication prescribed for his ear injury. He whispered about 4 men and asked his mother to cancel his credit cards. His mother, naturally deeply concerned, arranged for him to see a doctor at Varna Airport before a rescheduled flight. On July 8, 2014, Lars took a taxi to the airport. He seemed agitated but was proceeding with his travel plans. He entered the airport terminal, checked in for his flight, and even spoke to the airport doctor. According to the doctor, Lars appeared nervous and erratic. He expressed fear for his life and mentioned the men he believed were after him. We return now to the haunting landscape of Vermont, to a case that predates some of the others in the Bennington Triangle, yet shares their chilling inexplicability: the disappearance of Paula Jean Welden in 1946. Paula was an 18-year-old sophomore at Bennington College, a bright, artistic, and seemingly content young woman. Her vanishing on a crisp autumn afternoon sent shockwaves through her community and beyond, leaving a void that has never been filled. On December 1, 1946, a date that would later resonate with another Bennington Triangle disappearance, Paula informed her roommate, Elizabeth Johnson, that she was feeling a little tired of her studies and intended to go for a long walk. She mentioned heading towards the Long Trail, a famous hiking path that meanders through the Green Mountains, a trail known for its beauty, but also its challenging and remote sections. She was dressed for the outdoors, notably in a distinctive red parka, blue jeans and sneakers. Paula was seen by several people as she made her way towards the trail. She hitched a ride for a portion of the journey with a local man, Louis Knapp, who dropped her near the entrance to the Long Trail on Vermont Route 9. Knapp later reported that she seemed cheerful and was looking forward to her hike. Other witnesses, including an elderly couple who were also out for a walk, saw her on the trail itself, heading north. They recalled her asking about the trail's length. These were the last confirmed sightings of Paula Jean Welden. When Paula failed to return to her dormitory that evening, concern began to grow. Her roommate alerted the college authorities, and by the next morning, a search was underway. What began as a local effort quickly escalated into one of the largest and most intensive searches in Vermont's history. Bennington College students and faculty joined local residents, state police from Vermont, Massachusetts, and Connecticut, and even soldiers from the National Guard. The FBI was also called in to assist. The searchers combed the rugged terrain of the Long Trail and the surrounding wilderness for weeks. The area is characterized by dense forests, steep ravines, and unpredictable weather, especially in early December. The stories we've explored today are more than just unsolved cases. They are profound questions etched into the annals of human experience. They hint at the unsettling possibility that the world we perceive, the reality we navigate with such confidence, may not be as solid or as complete as we believe. Perhaps there exists a point, an unseen boundary where our familiar world ends, and something else, something entirely other, begins. A frontier that is not geographical, but existential. It could be a border we do not see, an edge that is invisible to our senses, yet undeniably present. A threshold perhaps that under certain unknown conditions, individuals can inadvertently cross. Once over that line, the path back may be obscured or cease to exist altogether. They step from the known into the utterly unknown, leaving us behind to grapple with the silence and the void. That place, that conceptual space of ultimate disappearance, is what we call the vanishing point. The mysteries of Frederick Valentich, the Bennington Triangle, Lars Mittank, and Paula Jean Welden challenge us to consider the limits of our understanding. They remind us that despite all our advancements, some enigmas remain stubbornly beyond our grasp. If these stories have moved you, if they have sparked a sense of wonder or unease, please like this video. Share your own theories and thoughts in the comments below, for in collective discussion, sometimes new perspectives can emerge. And subscribe for more true, unexplained mysteries from the edge of our world.